Yoshi P talking about data mining, leaks, third-party tools. You know, he issued a stern reminder that third-party tools are prohibited.
Add-ons, no, fuck you.
So things that make content easier, show more UI, packet spoofing publicly, stating promoting these tools will have you investigated and dealt with.
Yep. Don't use XIV Alexander, even though you're in Australia. Sorry. That's the problem. Like,
okay, so that is less about ACT, more about the likes of XIV Alexander, though ACT could certainly be construed to fall within that very easily.
exactly. This is exactly why, obviously, you know, Blizzard are on one side of the fence with do whatever you want. We will do some small changes internally to try and stop you if you go too far. Like, don't be fucking botting, basically. Whereas Yoshi P's went to the other side, which is you're not allowed to use fucking anything. You'll get away with it as long as you aren't being a bastard about it. It's like I compare him when I'm in conversation to like the kind of cool parent that's like, don't do drugs. Kids, don't do drugs. But, you know, if you come home smelling of weed, Yoshi P be like, all right. And you're like, yeah, I'm all good, don't worry. And he'd be like, sweet. But if you come home, fucking blood everywhere, you've got coke all over your shoulders, you know, your nose is fucking hanging off, he'd be like, I fucking told you not to do drugs, and then, you know, you'd be punished for it. And that's the thing where it's like, obviously we know they know you're going to do stuff, right? But it's like, be safe about it, be reasonable about it. Don't fuck up people's days. Don't make don't take the piss. Don't take the piss. Just smoke some weed. That's a terrible fucking analogy. Jesus Christ. That's the worst analogy.
It's all went off the rails.
Yeah, it's all went off the rails. But yeah, no, that's the thing where it's like, just be reasonable. And that's how they've always done it.
Yeah.
But the terms of service are there to go, no, you're not allowed to do anything. Because we have to legally be able to, not legally, but, you know, I guess legally, technically, fuck you up for breaking the rules. Oh, man.
This is what it talks about then.
Yeah.
Server security is getting better to, you know,
Yeah.
sort of handle some of these things. He says they've seen an increase in reports of third-party tools that are basically just like malware and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Various tools that increase or enhance the information of the UI are already being reviewed to implement various features officially in-game, as well as making sure people stop using them as they are against TOS. That's DPS meters, right?
Well, there's a little...
use slash enhance.
So
I know that there's a few things, but...
that's probably not a DPS meter thing. That's very much a... I think that's more of a... like the party debuff timers thing.
Ah, right.
Or the way people... I mean, it's... Well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, they'll never put like the slide casting marker on because that's kind of like not really a game feature. It's like a small hidden thing. But it's like that's maybe some of the thing they might be looking at, or... trying to think of others. Like ACT shows target health, whereas the game doesn't. That kind of thing, where they might be talking about stuff like that. But there's definitely like little visual stuff for buffs and debuffs, all that stuff. It completely makes sense to like, that's the informational kind of customization. They'll maybe be okay with that.
Yeah. Then a very interesting thing.
Or chat bubbles, yeah, chat bubbles.
Yeah. They're reconsidering their position on the races.
Yeah.
Like for ultimates and stuff, because of the use of third-party tools to the point of not crediting or congratulating teams.
Yep, I think it was the world first of T, the Epic of Alexander. They didn't congratulate because they just were like, yeah, you fucking use third-party tools, we're not congratulating you. Which is like...
Oh, fair. Stick to your own rules.
Yep, 100%.
Dragon Song's reprise assets were accidentally left uncrypted in patch data, causing some data mining. Screenshot of the final phase was leaked before anyone reached it. Suspecting an insider to have leaked it, sparking a company-wide investigation to find the leaker and confirm legal action. Yoshi P did confirm the person responsible for the massive Shadowbringers leaks before its many reveals and released that they were caught, and Square Enix took legal action upon them.
Yeah, they got fucking nuked.
I wonder what that would have looked like.
Apparently they did congratulate TPS for TA. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking something else. It's fake news, man.
Various things are going to be changing for, on leaks, so they're being... They have been serious about that. They're getting a bit more serious about that.
Yep.
He reminds players that they can and may take legal action against those who spread data mine information and ask people to stop.
Oh, yeah. It was that they didn't congratulate Neverland for Dragon Song's reprise.
So the thing with this one could be a problem. That one could be a problem because let's just say something gets... something like leaks out, it then becomes a bit of news. people
Yep.
are talking about the news. They didn't data mine it. They didn't data mine it themselves. They didn't leak it. They did not break a single rule. They just reported on something. So to take legal action against people who would spread that seems insane to me. Now asking people to stop.
I am assuming that implies like DMCA's and stuff.
Are they allowed to DMCA what really is talking about something as a piece of news, which is transformation? Well, not that this is a fair use thing, but the thing is a bit of news, right? Because I know companies consistently they will just nuke things with DMCA regardless of whether it's actually a fair DMCA claim or not, because of where the power lies in the DMCA system. But when I think about what's right there, it's like if it gets out, I think you can't just go around taking legal action on people who, by talking about it, are kind of sharing. So it's like, DMCA, the original leaker, take action against the person who violated the terms to whatever extent is reasonable or you can do. But,
well,
that can only go so far.
Yeah, it can only go so far, but I think it's like, well, I don't know the entire legal breadth of it because I've not looked at it in a while. But I imagine it's a case of like, they will probably abuse whatever they can if you're like, if you're sharing images of the data mined like Dragon Song weapons, they'll likely, fire DMCA or tell you to stop or something like that, even if you are like a news site or something along those lines. Because it's still, as far as copyright's concerned, it's their shit that they don't want to show. And I know there's
that's not
kind
how
of a bit of complicated. It's kind of complicated in terms of what's right, I think, in terms of people. But yeah, I'm not completely sure in the legal situation there. They are just
depends on
basically saying,
Japanese law, but
yeah,
I'm not bound by Japanese law.
Yeah.
Am I? So not saying that I'm not like being I will talk about these things. No, I personally wouldn't.
Yeah, so that's a thing where I imagine this is literally just them going, no, we will fuck you up if you do this, so don't.
Yeah.
As to whether that's a threat or something they'll follow up on for other sites, I imagine just that we really don't like this, but they will fuck people who actually data mine for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. Data mining a piece of software. Because if a part of that involves reverse engineering, reverse engineering, that's like protected in America, isn't it?
I don't know if reverse.
How does that work?
I think there's. No, I don't. I fucking.
Yeah.
I was looking. I was
here.
looking into this relatively recently too. I feel like it's a case of the way the reverse engineering for like the Nintendo stuff is all legally signed because they don't use any of the assets. That's kind of I think that's kind of it. Where if there's any assets involved or anything that may be construed as copyrighted material, they're under fire like legally. But if they're just recreating something, I think that would be okay, generally. But for data mining, I feel like data mining, especially if it's encrypted and it's not like freely available in the game files, then I think that's where you kind of run into something. Whereas like, as an example, if, all these files are decrypted or encrypted and the game decrypts them on the fly during an event as part of the like executable code, then I think if you decrypt it before that, it's probably, if you're actually caught doing that before and not saying them correctly, that's probably something. I don't completely know.
Talking about terms of service. It depends.
Not
all terms of services will be legally enforceable.
Yeah, the terms of service will be enforceable in that you get fucking banned.
Yeah.
But you don't break terms of service in World of Warcraft by, being mean to someone and then Blizzard kick your door down, take you to jail. Like, that's not how it works. But yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. Interesting. Right. Now, there's a rumor of server emulation used by world first race participants to learn or clear new content is dismantled, and according to UCP, it is impossible.
So I would, generally speaking, I would take a lot of what UCP says to face value, but when he's talking about what other people do technically, I'm not sure about that. Mostly because of the time people talk about latency and how that impacts animation locks, and they have like Square Enix have completely missed the mark on all of that.
Totally wrong.
Yeah, they're literally completely wrong. And I was like, no, this is literally demonstrable proof that with ping, animation lock goes up. So people playing with high latency can't play Machinist. That's how it works. Basically, literally, sorry, Machinist is nerfed if you're Australian. Not that there's Australian data centers, alright, but like, you know, if you're playing at a different region, that some of these classes will be nerfed. And XIV Alexander can be used to triple weave and quadruple weave, and you'll get fucking banned for it because they have server tech and like examine those logs. But you can just fucking cheat using this latency stuff. And they're like, no, this is not how it works. You're like, fuck, come on, engage with reality, please. Engage with reality.
Yeah, and then once again he apologized for the many mistakes that came with patch 6.1,
Which
I'm guessing is Housing Samurai.
Housing Samurai, and I think early Japanese players were kind of pissed off on Ninja with the mug and trick switch, but I think everyone shut the fuck up when they realized Ninja's like a top DPS now. I was like, oh no, we get this change. Oh wait, Samurai got fucked. They were not, so okay. But yeah,
that's interesting. There certainly have been missteps with 6.1.
Yeah, but it is very funny thinking missteps for 6.1 versus what a lot of games would consider missteps from a patch. You're like,
oh yeah, broad strokes, 6.1's brilliant.
Yeah, Housing definitely fucked. Samurai, bit awkward. That's basically it, really. Fucking hell, like, yeah.
I think with Housing, it's just because that's something that people were so excited for.
Oh yeah, that is like a major fuck up. Like, in terms of player experience, that is a major fuck up, and it's still not even. Well, I think it's basically resolved now.
And also, delays too.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. Custom deliveries delayed. Hellbrand delayed. Beast Tribes delayed.
How much are they delayed versus just not being in the point one patch? Because I know the next patch should be. Have I lost my mind? Should that be next week?
Yeah.
But it hasn't been announced, so maybe not. Maybe they have been delayed. I don't know. I've been in a fucking bubble this week.
I've been in a bubble too. So I guess like if they have been delayed, let us know. But I always thought that those things were pushed to the like 6.1.2.
Yeah, 0.15, 0.18. Yeah, so they're not really delayed. They're time gated. That's the difference. They're fucking time gated.
Oh yeah. No, I think. Sorry, whenever I first read that comment, I thought that like a delay had been announced or something. No, I think that was just referring to the regular and announced patch cycle that's already sort of taken place.